Hi, my name is Cynthia. Today I'm going to give you some top 10 tips concerning parrots and toys for them. These are toys that you can make yourself or find around your house that should be safe for them. Most of these I have used myself, so I can vouch for the safety of them if you're careful with them. Number one, this is going to be part one because there's going to be part two too. I have so many. First one is if you can find hard plastic toys. And sometimes, a lot of times, you can find them for children, hard toys for kids. If they're safe for children, they can put their mouse on them or whatever, they're safe for your bird most likely. So if you can find some hard plastic toys, they'd be wonderful. Now how do you attach them to the cage? You buy chains, metal chains, and the chains can have different widths on them. So you got to be careful. Every bird, their claws are different lengths and different shape, how thick they are. So if you have a large bird, you got to buy as big a hole in them as you can. If you have smaller birds, obviously a big one would be fine for them, but you can probably get away with medium-sized one for them. Another way you can hang them is by ropes. Now rope, you got to be careful. You shouldn't have any synthetic ropes because there's chemicals in them. You can buy natural rope, and if you can, try to buy ones that are not stained or colored, but you can color them yourself with Jello coloring. That will not hurt the birds at all. Another way you can hang them, by the way, going back to the rope, make sure that there's no strands, loose strands on the rope. And if you see anywhere the birds are messing around with them, cut them off. You don't want the birds getting caught on the strands with their claws. I've had friends that came home from work and found their bird hanging by their claw in the cage where it got caught in there. So you got to be very careful that it's clean and there's no strands in there. And also make sure that you don't buy synthetic if you can avoid it. I mean, avoid it, period. Don't have synthetic. Another way is to have leather. Leather is real fine. You don't really have to put a lot of toys in that. You just knot them up, make a lot of knots on them all the way through, and tie it to the top of the cage. Or you can put them through a chain. They're wonderful, and they got to be natural also. Do not have anything that's tanned. And you can find them all over the place. I used to go to a horse place where they sold horse items, and I found a lot of leather in there that was not at all tanned. And you can cut that up and you can make really cool toys out of leather. And it's really not all that expensive either. And if you even go into a bird store, you'll see a lot of toys with leather. Look around in there and you'll get some ideas about making toys. And you'll find, again, leather toys in there with a lot of big knots, which are really wonderful. The birds do like them, and they'll work on them. Another thing, sisal toys. Sisal rope is very good rope also to use for making toys out of. Now, another thing that's very inexpensive and easy to find everywhere is cardboard. You can find cardboard in paper towels, inside paper towels when you get through using your paper towels. Toilet rolls, inside of that has got cardboard in them. Put them inside the cage through the wires. Birds will love them. They tear them apart. You go through, I mean, you can't have less expensive toy than that, and they love it. Another cardboard or paper is paper plates. If you have paper plates, fold them in half, slip them through the cage, and they'll tear those apart too. A lot of times they just are bored and they want something to do. When they're in the wild, they're always surging around looking for food. And this is the same thing they're going to be doing in the cage. They get bored. So if you have these kind of toys in there, keeps their attention, they don't get as bored with them. Another thing, plastic, again, getting back to baby toys. If you get some plastic that it's like hollow in the middle, be careful with them if you have larger birds because they'll put holes in them. And you don't want them eating any pieces of that plastic. But if you have smaller birds, very seldom do they go through those holes. And again, if they're safe for babies, they're safe for parrots, and I'll tell you, you can find them very inexpensive in stores. Now those are just a few of the ones that I found. Oh, let's talk about wood. Sorry. You can put wood inside the cages and you can make toys out of wood. Now, what kind of wood is safe and what kind of wood is bad? Because not every wood is fine for birds. Anything that's pressure treated, no. Do not have the birds take that because that's chemicals in there. They're very sensitive to chemicals. Their lung system is sensitive to that kind of stuff, so you got to be very careful. Nothing that's pressure treated. Another thing, don't have anything that has chemicals in them. Now, I'm going to read you a list of ones that are bad for parrots or birds. Red cherry. Cherry wood is wonderful wood, but not good for parrots. Oak, you can find it almost everywhere, not good for parrots. Plywood is bad. Don't put anything with plywood in a cage. Another thing, the ones that are safe are poplar, ash, which if you can find it, elm, which if you can find those two, maple is good, walnut is good. I would have thought walnut wasn't, but it is good. Apple is wonderful wood. If you can find apple, they'll love apple because it's got a slight sweetness to it, and that's premium wood if you can find apple wood. Birch is very soft. It's wonderful for toys for birds. However, they destroy them because it's soft. So if you get birch, get a lot of it because you're going to be going through it. Now, you can color these again with coloring that you use for any kind of food coloring. It's safe. If it's safe for human beings, most likely it's safe for parrots. Now, manzanita is wonderful wood. If you can find it, it's usually very expensive if you have large birds like macaws, cockatoos, large cockatoos. They destroy the birch wood. Like I once bought and paid $50 for a large hanging wood toy for my cockatoo, thinking he would have a lot of fun with it for weeks. He destroyed it in 2 days because it was birch wood. So be careful what kind of wood you have and what kind of bird you have, according to which one will be destroying it, what kind of wood. If you get the manzanita, they can hardly destroy that, although they'll work on that. And I use that for purchase, for outside purchase, which is wonderful. Again, if you can find it, usually grown in California, and it's expensive to buy it. Another one is balsa wood too, is wonderful. And again, that can be destroyed fairly easy. Now those are just a few of the ones that toys. I'm going to have a second video, part 2 video, on other toys to look into that you can make yourself. You don't have to go in the store and spend a lot of money. And if you have a parrot, you know what I'm talking about. You can go in there and spend $15 for a little bitty toy. And the best thing is to have as many toys as you can in the cage. Now, they should be able to move around the cage, but keep them busy with a lot of different toys. And a lot of people move those toys around in the cage so it's not in the same spot. Kind of distracts them, and they're not bored with it being in the same spot. So buy as many toys as you can, and they'll love you for it. And you'll love watching them play with them too. Okay? I hope you got some good ideas for some toys you can make for your parrots. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I usually try to download a new video every Monday, and I'm going to have another one on toys, part 2, and I'll have other videos on parrots in the future. Come back and visit me, okay? Bye now.